What's up, Asmonauts and Yugioh enjoyers? This is my Labrynth deck profile for the May 2023 format, and I will say this is pre-ban list, so if anything changes, I'll be making another video. Anyway, let's get into the profile. I'm running 3 Lady Labrynth. I'd also like to say that this is not a furniture list, so if you're here looking for the Labrynth furniture list, I am not running it. I feel like Labrynth normally is able to break boards and respond to various situations than the furniture build does. I'm also running 1 Lovely. This is the brick of the deck. I'm also running 3 Ariana. A lot of people tend to run like 1 or 2. Some people run 3. Maybe a lot of people run 3. Every deck profile I've seen so far, people are running only 1 of her, and I can't understand why, because she is just a +1, so there's really no point in not trying to max out 3 of her. Typically though, the people who are running less copies of her have other normal summons. I'm running 1 Ariane. If she resolves, you are popping off. You're making Deuce Machinax for like 2 or 3 summon sucks, as well as grabbing a welcome or a big welcome. She's also great Ash bait, because while you will go neg1, that is an Ash that you won't have to deal with if you already have your welcomes in your hand. I am, however, running 1 Chandragolier and 1 Kuklok. The reason being is because you're going to see this later in the profile, but I only have 2 normal welcomes, and I don't really feel like I need the 3rd. So this is just another way to get to my normal welcomes, or even my big welcomes, or whatever I need. And the Kuklok is because if you have Ariana and really just access to Lady Labrynth, you grab this and you have access to a welcome. You can go the welcome, summon out her, activate a normal trap, and then you go her effect, set any normal trap from your deck. Usually you want to do blowout cards like Dimensional Barrier or Eradicator or any of the other viruses. And then you go Kuklok effect, discard it to grave, you activate the trap you just set. In this case, like in most cases, it's usually D-Barrier for me. To finish off the monsters, I am running 2 Lord of the Heavenly Prison. I really like this card. I think that a lot of the people who are cutting it are making a mistake, because this can just flat out grab you a trap if your lady cannot. So for example, you can go like activate a welcome, summon, and then activate another welcome, they ash it, you go effective Lord, summon, set like Eradicator, Kuklok effect, and then you activate the Eradicator that way. For spells, I'm only running 3. I'm running 3 Extrav, 1 Labrynth. It's always good to have at least 1. There have been times where I've tested without it. A lot of the grind games I get into, or specific scenarios, I wish I had this. For example, if I have like a furniture, or I have Ariana, but I already have everything else, I missed this. Also, if you activate a card like Eradicator, where you have to get rid of one of your monsters, you can use the Labrynth to revive the monster you tributed. And so now it's as if you had lost no advantage at all. For traps, I'm running 3 big welcome, 2 normal welcome. This is pretty standard, except most people are running 3 welcome, because maximizing on your traps that summon from the deck is very important, but because I don't have 3 normal welcome, I'm running a Chandrag. Plus the Chandrag allows me to recycle the Kuklok, which is really important for specific grind games where, let's say I have like a Lovely, but I want to be able to set an Eradicator from deck for next turn, so I can go Lovely effect, reset the D-Barrier that I previously used, just for an example, and then pass D-Barrier, Lady effect set, and then Kuklok. So then I can go activate the card I just set. 3 skill drain. This card is I personally think this card is very mid. There have been an equal amount of games where I activate skill drain and it's just an oh shit button if I have no other interaction to try and seal up the deal, rather than a card that I feel like I should go ahead and just use whenever. And my win rate after playing skill drain is also like kind of 50-50, because either it's like the skill drain stops one interaction but it doesn't stop them from killing me or breaking my board, or I activate the skill drain and they're just like, okay, let's go to the next game. It's like okay. And obviously you don't need it because furniture variants aren't even running it. I'm running 3 Solemn Strike. This is my out to cards like Ash Blossom, but it's also my out to Grave Effects. And just hand effects in general. I usually end up using it in chain to Ash so that all of my welcomes can resolve. That is the main thing. And I like this a lot better than having Gamma, because this is almost always live, unless you're really low in life points, but Gamma is not always live. Gamma is dead as soon as you get a monster, and you can't make Lambda. 3 evenly matched, because evenly is one of the best main deck cards at the moment. It's great bait, and if it's not bait, it's just gonna clear most of their board. It's also really good discard fodder for Ariane, so if you're going first, you can just go Ariane effect this card dead evenly. 3 Compulse. This also helps with the OTK with the field spell, but it's like board removal. Generic board removal is just good. 2 Punishment, self-explanatory. My extra deck is kind of funny. 2 Dimensional Barrier. D Barrier is essentially just a win button. It's a win con for the deck. Because rather than having to expend all of your trap cards on making sure your opponent can't crack your board, you can just go D Barrier and usually they just pass turn unless they're playing something weird like Decode Talker the deck or whatever. 1 Ice Dragon's Prison, 1 Eradicator, and 1 Tears of the Overroot. These 2 right here are just impactful traps. There's nothing really special about them. They just kind of hit like various things, like this hits Dragoon, this does weird stuff with Grave decks. If I had to make a change here, I would probably be cutting the Overroot or a Dharma Cannon, and Eradicator is just amazing. It's probably gonna get banned, sadly, but if it gets banned, then it's whatever. For my extra deck, I am running a Dragoon. This is just a waking target. That's literally all it is. A Last Warrior from Another Planet. This card is really funny. If they hit the waking and they haven't summoned anything, so if they go like Lightning Storm, you go activate a Trap Chain Lady, set Waking. Waking dies, you summon this. If they have no monsters on board, it just says like neither player can summon monsters. And if they have no monsters on board, well, they might as well just extend their hand right there unless they have an Imperm or something as well. 1 Garura, 3 Natis, 1 Deuce Machinex, a King Caesar. You do the Ariane combo and you just overlay for Caesar and then you overlay for Machinex. You can also put a Marksman King Tell in here if you want an extra summon take. I don't do that though because with Extrav, if you banish either one of these, it's dead, so I'd rather have 2 dead extra deck slots, or 1 dead extra deck slot, than like 2 if I banish one of them. And if I banish both of these, it's perfectly fine. 1 Ultimate Falcon, just another waking target. An Aggregator, Dugaris. This can pull you out of rough spots where you're kind of in like top deck mode, and you need more gas, so you just draw 2 and then skip your next draw phase. Or you can use it to OTK by making Lady 6k. The other effective special summon is garbage, I never use it. 1 Baguska, a lot of decks lose to this card. And then for links, I'm running a Bucephalus, which is just punishment target. A Dark. This is for rare instances where you get Ibleed, as well as the Lingaribo. Lingaribo is the better one in this scenario, because you don't have to waste the normal summon as well to make the Dark. But Dark has utility in other matchups as well. For my side deck, I am playing 2 Lava Golem, 3 Lancia, and I really like the Lava Golems. I was playing them in main, but opening Lava Golem going first is enough to make a grown man cry, so I don't do it anymore. I have him inside now. And then Lancia is just to out evenly. It also stops Kashtira, and it stops a lot of the Sword Soul shenanigans. Like, they can't activate Desires, they can't do the Tinny stuff. Droll, this is for decks like Super Heavy Samurai. And then I have a few going first cards here, which are Judgment. You gotta protect your shit from evenly. Imperial Iron Wall, protect your shit from evenly. Also really bends Kashtira over. They have a really tough time with this card. 1 Gozen, 1 Waking the Dragon. I have thought about Boo Boo Game, and if I get a Boo Boo Game, I'm probably going to be replacing the Gozen. If you have Waking and Boo Boo Game, you cover almost all of your bases. And then last but not least, a Pointer. A Pointer is just too good, because you get Hand Knowledge, you take a card out, and you also can, it triggers a lady as well. I do also have some honorable mentions. So if you're looking into the virus cards, Deck Devastation is very good, and Full Force Virus is also very good. They both hit different strategies though, so you kind of want to take a look at what people are playing at your locals, and you want to prepare yourself accordingly. Because you don't want to be activating Deck Devastation Virus against a deck that has mostly monsters with over 15 attack in it, in the main deck, right? Like, for example, if I activate Full Force Virus against Super Heavy Samurai, almost all of their stuff is going to have more than 2k defense, so this is essentially worthless in that matchup. But Deck Devastation hits them really hard. It hits, I believe, every single monster in their main deck. And then the last card is Dharma Cannon. I don't have copies of it yet. However, if I do get a copy, definitely taking out Overroot and putting one of these in here, because Dharma Cannon is essentially just a game ender. So for anybody interested in a few combos, my favorite one in the deck, besides the first turn D-Barrier from deck, is the Ariane combo. It's very strong, and all you need is access to Ariane. You normal the Ariane, and you need a discard. The two best discards in the deck are Big Welcome and Evenly. So in this case, let's say we have like Evenly. I go Ariane, discard the Evenly, summon out your Ariane. Now, if you have access to a Welcome already, you can use Ariane to grab, like, for example, the missing Welcome. Or if you have both, you can grab Coup Clock. In this example here, I'll go ahead and grab my Big Welcome. And then from here, go into Wave King Caesar, and then you go into your Machinex. You set your Welcome, and then whatever else you have in your hand is whatever else you have in your hand. Every time I've ever made this, I have never lost that game. The main combo that people tend to gravitate towards, though, is you need access to 2 Welcomes pretty much. That's really all you need. So in my case, I'll be using Ariane, or Ariana, and Big Welcome. So you normal summon your Ariana, and you're going to be grabbing the missing Welcome. And then you just set 2 paths. On your opponent's turn, you go Welcome, you summon out your lady, and then once the lady is summoned, you activate your Big Welcome, and then chain the lady, which is where you set your D-Barrier, or your Eradicator, or just any other high-impact trap. And then you summon your Ariana. In this case, I'm going to be setting the D-Barrier, summoning the Ariana. D-Barrier gets set, this goes to grave. You bounce this Ariana to your hand. Separate chains, you go Ariana effect, search for your Coup Clock, and then separate chain, activate the Coup Clock. So now you can activate D-Barrier. And that was a 2-card combo, so you have 3 other cards in your hand that you're able to do whatever with. The last combo I want to showcase is essentially Ariana, access to like either of these 2 cards. You normal summon the Ariana, add the Coup Clock, activate the Coup Clock, you set your Big Welcome, activate it, and you summon the Lovely Labrynth. You bounce that. So from here, you go Lovely Effect, pop a card in their hand, and then on a new chain, you activate Lovely's effect, resetting the Big Welcome for your opponent's next turn. So now on their turn, you go Big Welcome effect, summon this, summon the lady, bounce the lady, and then you go Lovely effect to pop another card in their hand. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video, it would help me out a lot. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you guys later.